Tax avoidance takes a lot of different forms, from just outright tax evasion to manipulating the way you report things to real responses and the actual changes in behavior that also have implications for what you see in the tax returns and for the tax revenue. I don't think it's a problem just in Europe, it's the problem everywhere. It's also the problem in the US, where I work. So the estimates of tax of non-compliance for small businesses in the US are of the order of 50%. So it's not unique to Europe, it's just that these types of incomes are very difficult to tax. They are difficult to observe. There's a lot of discretion that entrepreneurs have in reporting these things, and that's the consequence. Of course, you can sort of do a lot of things on the administration side to improve compliance, but it's a tough problem everywhere, not just in Europe. The Polish reform, I think, is actually a very nice example for what can be done, because the responses that I identified there, I argue in that paper that they are most likely reflecting the shifts from informal sector. So basically, once you reduce marginal tax rates, people have an incentive to show things, on the books rather than hide them from tax authorities. So, of course, reduction in tax rates you may think is costly, but if there is much more reporting than before, that reduces how expensive it is. So that's one thing that's done. Another thing that's important is just collecting a lot of information. I think the consensus, the growing consensus among economists that work on these topics is that so-called third-party reporting is extremely important. When you have third-party reporting, so two sides of the transactions reporting to tax authorities, that improves compliance dramatically, and countries vary a lot in the extent to which different economic activities are covered by third-party reporting.
Perfect. Well done.